To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Hans. I like to save things, not important things, like whales or people or the environment. Silly things, porcelain, bells, the kind you get at souvenir shops. Cookie cutters you'll never use because who needs a cookie in the shape of a foot? Ribbons for my hair, love letters. Of all the things I save, I guess you could say my love letters are my most prized possession. I keep my letter in a teal hat box my mom brought me from a vintage store downtown. They aren't love letters that someone else wrote for me. I don't have any of those. These are ones I've written. There's one for every boy I ever loved, 5 in all. When I write, I hold nothing back. I write like he'll read it. He'll never read it, because he never will. Every secret thought, every careful observation, everything I've saved up inside me. I put it all in the letters. When I'm done, I seal it, I address it, and then I put it in my teal hat box. They are not love letters in the strictest sense of the word. My letters are for when I don't want to be in love anymore. They are for goodbye. Because after I write my letter, I'm no longer consumed by my all-consuming love. I can eat my cereal and not wonder if he likes bananas over his Cheerios too. I can sing along to love songs and not be singing them to him. If love is like a possession, maybe my letters are like my exorcisms. My letters set me free. Or at least they're supposed to. Chapter 1. Josh is Margot's boyfriend, but I guess you could say my whole family is a little in love with him. It's hard to say who most of all. Before he was Margot's boyfriend, he was just Josh. He was always there. I said always, but I guess that's not true. He moved next door 5 years ago, but it feels like always. My dad loves Josh because he's a boy and my dad is surrounded by girls. I mean it. All day long, he is surrounded by females. My dad is an ob-gym, and he also happens to be the father of 3 daughters, so it's like girls, 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 all day. He also likes Josh because Josh likes comic and he'll go fishing with him. My dad tried to take us fishing once, and I cried when my shoe got mud on it, and Margot cried when her book got wet, and Kitty cried because Kitty was still practically a baby. Kitty loves Josh because he'll play cards with her and not get bored, or at least pretend to not get bored. They make deals with each other. If I win this next hand, you have to make me a toasted, crunchy peanut butter sandwich. No crusts. That's Kitty. Inevitably, there won't be crusty, crunchy peanut butter. And Josh will say, too bad, pick something else. But then Kitty will wear him down and he'll run out and buy some. Because that's Josh. If I had to say why Margot loves him, I think maybe I would say it's because we all do. We are in the living room. Kitty is passing pictures of dogs to a giant piece of cardboard. Pasting. There's paper and scraps all around her. Humming to herself, she says, when Daddy asks me what I want for Christmas, I am just going to say, pick any one of these breeds and we'll be good. Margot and Josh are on the couch. I'm lying on the floor, watching TV. Josh popped a big bowl of popcorn, and I devote myself to it, handfully of it. A commercial comes on for perfume. A girl is running around the street of Paris in an orchard-colored halter dress that is thin as tissue paper. What I wouldn't give to be that girl in that tissue paper dress running around Paris in springtime. I sit up so suddenly. I choked on a kernel of popcorn. Between cough, I said, Margot, let's meet in Paris for my spring break. I'm already picturing myself twirling with a pistachio macaroon in one hand and a raspberry one in the other. Margot's eye lit up. Do you think Daddy will let you? Sure, it's culture. He'll have to let me. But it's true that I've never flown by myself before. And also, I've never even left the country before. Would Margot meet me at the airport, or would I have to find my own way to the hostel? Josh must see the sudden worry on my face because he said, "Don't worry, your dad will definitely let you go if I'm with you." I brightened. Yeah, we can stay at hostels and just eat pastries and cheese for all our meals. We can go to Jim Morrison's grave, Josh throws in. We can go to a perfumery and get our personal scents done, I cheer, and Josh snorts. I'm pretty sure getting our scents done at a perfume would cost the same as a week's stay at the hostel, he said. He nudges Margot. Your sister suffers from delusions of grandeur. She is the fanciest of the three of us, Margot agreed. What about me? Kitty whimpered. You? I scuffled. You're the least fancy song girl. I have to beg you to wash your feet at night, much less take a shower. Kitty's face gets pinched and red. I wasn't talking about that, you dodo bird. I was talking about Paris. Airily, I waved her off. You're too little to stay at a hostel. She crawled over to Margot and climbed in her lap. Even though she's 9 and 9 is too big to sit in people's laps. Margot, you'll let me go, won't you? Maybe it could be a family vacation, Margot said, kissing her cheek. You and Laura Jean and Daddy could all come. I frowned. That's not at all the Paris trip I was imagining. Over Kitty's head, Josh mouthed to me, "We'll talk later," and I give him a discreet thumbs up. It's later that night. Josh is long gone. Kitty and our dad are asleep. We are in the kitchen. Margot is at the table on her computer. I was sitting next to her, rolling cookie dough into balls and dropping them in cinnamon and sugar. Snickerdoodles to get back in Kitty's good grace. Earlier, when I went in and said, "Good night, Kitty," Kitty rolled over and wouldn't speak to me because she's still convinced I'm going to try to cut her out of the Paris trip. My plan is to put the snickerdoodle on a plate right next to her pillow so she wakes up to the smell of fresh baked cookies. Margot's being extra quiet, and then out of nowhere, she looks up from her computer and says, "I broke up with Josh tonight after dinner." My cookie dough ball falls out of my fingers and into the sugar bowl. I mean, it was time, she said. Her eyes aren't rimmered. She hasn't been crying, I don't think. Her voice is calm and even. Anyone looking at her would think she was fine, because Margot is always fine, even when she's not. I don't see why you had to break up, I said. Just because you're going to college doesn't mean you have to break up. Laura Jean, I'm going to Scotland, not UVA. St. Andrews is nearly 4,000 miles away. She pushed up her glasses. What would be the point? I can't even believe she would say that. The point is, it's Josh, who loves you more than any boy has ever loved a girl. Margot rolled her eyes at this. She thinks I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. It's true. That's how much Josh loves Margot. He would never so much as look at another girl. Suddenly, she said, "Do you know what Mommy told me once?" What? For a moment I forgot all about Josh, because no matter what I am doing in life, if Margot and I are in the middle of an argument, if I am about to get hit by a car, I will always stop and listen to a story about Mommy. Any details, any remembrance that Margot has, I want to have it too. I'm better off than Kitty, though. Kitty doesn't have one memory of Mommy that we haven't given her. We have told her so many stories so many times that they are hers now. Remember that time? She'll say, and then she'll tell the story like she was there and not just a little baby. She told me to try not to go to college with a boyfriend. She said she didn't want me to be the girl crying on the phone with her boyfriend and saying no to things instead of yes. Scotland is Margot's. Yes, I guess. Absently, I scooped up a mound of cookie dough and popped it in my mouth. You shouldn't eat raw cookie dough, Margot said. I ignored her. Josh would never hold you back from anything. He's not like that. Remember how when you decided to run for student body president, he was your campaign manager. He's your biggest fan. At this, the corners of Margot's mouth turned down, and I get up and flung my arms around her neck. She leaned her head back and smiled up at me. I'm okay, she said, but she isn't. I know she isn't. It's not too late, you know. You can go over there right now and tell him you changed your mind. Margot shakes her head. It's done, Margine. I released her and she closed her laptop. When will the first batch be ready? I'm hungry. I looked at the magnetic egg timer on the fridge. 4 more minutes. I sit back down and said, I don't care what you say, Margot. You guys aren't done. You love him too much. She shakes her head. Largine, she begins, in her patient Margot voice, like I am a child and she is a wise old woman of 42. I wave a spoonful of cookie dough under Margot's nose, and she hesitated and then opened her mouth. I feed it to her like a baby. Wait and see. You and Josh will be back together in a day, maybe 2. But even as I'm saying it, I know it's not true. Margot's not the kind of girl to break up and get back together on a whim. Once she decides something, that's it. There's no waffling, no regrets. It's like she said, when she's done, she's just done. I wish, and this is a thought I've had many times, too many times to count, I was more like Margot. Because sometimes it feels like I'll never be done. Later, after I've washed the dishes and plated the cookie and set them on Kitty's pillow, I go to my room. I don't turn the lights on. I go to my window. Josh's light is still on.